Hey guys, bit of a different one today. It was very difficult for me to load up my charts just due to some internet issues I'm having. It's just going extremely slow, so skipping through time frames and so forth, it just wouldn't be very good for the video. So yeah, essentially I was able to do my morning forecast, but unfortunately I wasn't able to have enough to actually just film the whole thing. So I took some snapshots, and basically this is what I do every morning. Essentially I just go check the charts after I've kind of completed a few things to get me into my flow for the day, and during that morning routine I'll eventually come to the charts and then set out my charts like this. So this is what I'll do prior to filming the YouTube video. It's a much better approach for me to kind of just know what I'm looking out for during the day before the day begins, and then kind of be patient and wait for those things. And I think that sort of structure of approaching the markets is a lot better, and that's the way I've been taught. And obviously for a lot of people I think it's what they also do as well. You know, you don't go into anything without a plan, right? So we see the DXY, we can see that we have the larger structure. We've been looking at this for quite some time now, and we're just looking at this to see if we can develop a larger structure over here. Of course, I've mentioned this multiple times, this trend line over here and this one down here, it's not really the most highest probability because the first touch isn't anywhere significant, but also we just took it to make it more parallel, and then we'll now be looking to see if we can complete this larger structure. So we do have a 1-2 potential third section over here and the 1-2 low section over there. So we will be looking at this to evaluate if we can tap into that to then sell off. It works in line with the higher time frame, so I truly believe that it could be a very, very nice play if we do get that. So as a row, waiting patiently to see how the DXY, which is this pair, develops, to see if we get the larger flag, which is over here, and see if we can position ourselves strategically in this region here once we have more confirmation which meets with our trading plan. Then we have New Zealand yen. So I've only got two pairs on, New Zealand yen and Euro CAD, but we'll go into those. And then the rest of the ones on my watch list, I just couldn't really see anything I really wanted to take. So as we can see over here on the hourly chart, we have this 1, 2, 3 ascending channel into this section, and I will be looking to see if we can sell this and come back down to this ray line as a minimum criteria. Zooming in a little bit more on the 15, ideally looking for a solid push down continuation, nice and tight, to continue to the downside. If this does get messy, then I'll have to wait for something a little bit more cleaner. Just because we're so high up in structure, it has the risk of pushing down, creating something a bit messy over here, and then just trickling its way back up. And I've seen that time and time again, especially with New Zealand pairs, that we'll get to these areas and then people will lose their patience and be like, oh my god, it looks perfect, let's jump in. And then that's when they really get struck out by the market. So be extremely patient, because this can still push up a little bit further and then come back in, and that might be even higher probability of a trade, but you don't want to take an unnecessary loss in this area. If you can protect yourself, for sure. I think, you know, from this sort of price alone, I think there's about 18 pips from here to here. But anyway, I think protection is the most important thing when you're up in these areas. So, you know, if you are taking a trade, take that into consideration. And as you can see here, I'm waiting patiently for an insurance entry, which is this over here, to see if we can get a solid push down and basically, yeah, continue. The reason why I didn't take the trade right up here, which, you know, you can also see here, I guess, you know, there is the confluence of it, but because we had this aggressive push and this didn't really line up to the section, it's just never really one that I think really shapes up when you're so high up in structure as well. You know, this can easily just keep going up, and we don't want to be caught on the wrong side of the market trying to catch. In this case, it's going up, but if we inverted it, a falling knife. So there's just a saying, like, you don't want to catch a falling knife because you risk getting cut multiple times. So that's the case with this. You're catching a falling knife when you're just trying to take a trade here sometimes, and yeah, it's just not worth it. Although not to say that I wouldn't take trades, that I absolutely would. It just depends on the market and what sort of message I'm getting from it. Here's Euro CAD. So as we can see, it is a go-to setup for me, but it's not the highest of probabilities. We can see that this is looking pretty nice. So we have this larger structure here, and then we have this internal larger structure here, which is evolved. And then we're looking at this trading into this little inflection point over here. When I look at it closely, I can see that we've had a solid push up, and then we started creating this larger structure. this could be enough momentum built to actually take us to that push to the high over there, which I'm looking for. So what I would be looking for is price to just come in, perhaps break below this a little bit, and then get a solid push up. If we reject from here and we get a solid push up, I'd be looking for the flag somewhere in above the middle of the 50% of this range, and then be looking to take that to the upside. But more than likely, I would like to see a solid push down, and then an impulsive big candle push up, and then form some continuation to the upside. And I think that would be more for better play, because I'll get a clear message from the market where I would be positioning myself, and then I would look to how I would position myself depending on the size of the continuation. So as you can see here, I'm waiting to create a middle section, which is this, to go higher. So this is always going to be a short-term long position. It could take some time, of course. So when I say short-term, I'm talking about like I could be in there for maybe a day, 2 days, 3 days, maybe even a week maximum, and then when price gets up here, I'll be looking to go short. So if I miss it, I miss it. It is what it is. I'll just wait for the short play, and I'll just wait. That's it. That's all I can do at that point. There's no point FOMOing. There's no point being like, oh, price is all the way up here. I could have got it down there. It is what it is. So we're going to wait for it to come to that ray line. But then if we do get that opportunity over here, there'll be a nice little trade there. Easily, probably squeezing around about 10% odd. So really good to see that, see how that shapes up. And yeah, that's all I can really kind of show you today, guys. So I'm really sorry about that, because I would have loved to show you what else is happening on the charts and why I'm not looking at particular pairs and why I filtered some pairs out from today. But you know, there's always tomorrow. Hopefully the internet picks up maybe by this afternoon and I can post another video. If not, you know, this is all you got today. But yeah, we can see that structure is shaping up and it is looking mighty nice. So let's just wait and see how this develops over the week, and yeah, we'll get involved.